Yes! Oh, it is. It is a Thursday episode of Donno Daily here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Listen, I know everybody's tired because you sacrificed sleep last night to watch the Heat bottle it late and in overtime. I know you're tired. I know you're grumpy. I know you're pissed. We're going to talk about the Miami Heat, their loss at the Lakers last night in OT. And we're going to talk about this guy. Believe me, we're going to talk about this guy. Ethan Skolnick, who's live in Los Angeles. He was at the scene of the crime last night, and he's going to be at Staples Center again tonight when the Heat take on the Clippers. He is scheduled to join us around 3:15 today, so in about 15 minutes from now. We're going to get some bets for Thursday night and for the weekend with Barry Barger from BetUS.com at 3:30, and we're going to talk about those Miami Dolphins. To Tua or not to Tua? What will happen? Dolphins against Ravens tonight, Thursday Night Football. We will talk with Husan Patel at 3:45. Guys, I hope you've been checking out the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. They are the official sports bar of Donno Daily. I was so happy to see some of you guys out there this past Monday night for our watch party that we had at the Quarterdeck Sawgrass. Even though Heat lost against Utah that night, we still had an awesome time, ate some amazing food, and enjoyed some incredible 2-for-1 drink specials. The 2-for-1 happy hour is all day, every day. It never ends at the Quarterdeck. The seafood is so fresh. The sandwiches and burgers are great. Guys, make sure you watch every big game and every big fight. They have all the UFC pay-per-view fights for zero cover charge at the Quarterdeck. Make sure you check it out. They have TVs, high def, covering every single wall. If you want to peep the menu before you go or find the location nearest to you, visit them online at quarterdeckrestaurants.com. The Quarterdeck, come for the food, stay for the fun. And we are brought to you by the official sports book of Donno Daily, and that is BetUS.com. I was just talking to one of our viewers on Twitter who was, shame on him, he was on a different sports book, and he said the Heat Clippers game tonight was not on the board on that book. It's on the board, my friends, at BetUS.com. I just checked it 4 minutes ago. Heat +5. They're 5-point underdogs tonight. No Jimmy Butler tonight at the Los Angeles Clippers. You can bet on that game. You can bet on Thursday Night Football, whether you're betting on or against the Miami Dolphins. You can bet all of these games at BetUS.com. I have been bullish on BetUS.com even before they became a partner of this show. I discovered BetUS last year because they had odds on sporting events that I couldn't find in other places. They are America's favorite sports book. Their customer service is incredible, and they offer the best bonuses in the industry. We give you a great bonus. For the viewers of this show, if you guys create your account at BetUS.com today and make your deposit with our code 5RSN125, they're going to give you a 125% sign-up bonus. All you need is our code 5RSN125. If you deposit $100, for example, they're going to give you $125 of free play money on top of that deposit. They are the 3-decade leader. You bet, you win, you get paid. BetUS.com. Oh, last night was rough, my friends. The $90 million man let us down as he's done all season long. The Miami Heat last night, they got beaten in Los Angeles last night by a Lakers team without LeBron James, mind you. Now, I know that we did lose Jimmy Butler in the first half, but you got beaten by a Lakers team without LeBron James. No LeBron, no problem for them, because the Miami Heat last night, they got killed by Heat killers. Heat killer Malik Monk. I can't explain why he always saves his deadliest stuff for the Miami Heat. Heat killer Malik Monk, 27 points last night for the Lake Show. Heat killer Wayne Ellington, 4 for 6 from 3. Heat killer Avery Bradley, 17 points and went 5 for 8 from 3. But my friends, the biggest Miami Heat killer last night was a guy wearing the Miami Heat uniform. The guy wearing the number 55. Duncan freaking Robinson. A ghastly 3 for 13 night from three-point range and a whole bunch of other problems to go with that. So far this season, for those keeping track on Duncan Robinson, he's shooting 11 games into this season, 10% below his career average from the field, 9% below his career average from three-point range. And it wasn't just missing threes as he's done all year. That wasn't the only thing that hurt him and hurt the Heat last night. He missed that bunny. He missed that layup. Down 7 points with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That was criminal. He missed 2 free throws down the stretch. Duncan Robinson, guys, Duncan Robinson is an 87% career free throw shooter. There is no excuse for that guy missing 2 free throws. He just can't make shots right now. And listen, Manny, if you can pull up some of the tweets for me that we were going through, some of the reactions last night, okay, to that Duncan Robinson performance. You know, you see our guy, Michael Christian, even tweeted he's finally admitting that he's worried about Duncan Robinson. Ariel Atias, I was a little bit in front of Manny on the tweets. You know, me finally admitting I'm worried about Duncan Robinson to Heat Twitter. Our guy, Ariel Atias, I am finally ready to have the Duncan Robinson conversation. It is becoming undeniable. Yeah, when it's the first 3 games of the season, the first 5 games, the first 7 games, the first 9 games, me and everybody else can scream from the hilltops. Eventually, he's going to snap out of it. Eventually, he's going to break out of his funk, and he's going to become the Duncan Robinson of old. He's a streaky shooter. Eventually, the streak is going to turn the other way, and instead of missing shots, the streaks will be making shots. Folks, when you've now lost 2 straight games to start off a really tough road trip, and it's second end of a back-to-back tonight, and, you know, even when the Heat were winning games, Duncan was a weakness, and now you're losing games, and that weakness of Duncan Robinson only gets magnified even further. Brady Hawk, our guy, who is the hardest working man at 5 Reasons Sports, tweeted out after the game last night. This is what Tyler Hero had to say on Duncan Robinson's struggles. He said, "All shooters go through slumps. Dunk is one of the hardest working guys. We're not worried about Duncan," Tyler said. "When he's not shooting 10 to 15 threes, that's when we'll be mad at him." So, in other words, we're basically just waiting for Duncan Robinson to shoot himself out of his slump. And the problem with that is a guy who can't hit the ocean from a pier right now. If we think the only way for Duncan to break out of this is to keep shooting, when he keeps missing, he is going to keep sinking the yacht that is the Miami Heat. And, you know, honestly, Duncan Robinson has to find the answers to these problems within himself, because the last thing that Eric Spoelstra wants to do right now, maybe we'll reach this point eventually, but the last thing that Spo wants to do right now is to sit Robinson down without an injury, right? Because we know how important it is for Spo to keep his rotations intact, right? And I've seen people, you know, because Robinson's slump, it's nothing new. It's just getting worse and worse and worse, but he's been slumping all season long. And I've seen people suggesting, oh, well, Spo needs to bench Robinson for Tyler Hero. But Spo does not want to do that because he loves Hero as the 6th man. He loves the way the rotation is, exactly the way that it is right now. And it's going to have to get even uglier before you would ever even consider to make a change like that. Here's a tweet from our guy, George Sedano. Duncan Robinson is officially in his own head. 5 Reasons Sports tweeted out something similar. Ethan Skolnick, who I think was enjoying the game with Sedano last night, sitting in press row. He says, "We're discussing this on press row. It's mental right now with Duncan, it appears." Okay. And also I do want to add this note as well, unrelated, but related to the game tonight, from Anthony Chang. I mentioned Jimmy Butler spraining the ankle last night. Okay, well, we did get the injury report from the Heat today, but also Anthony Chang on the Clippers tonight. The Clippers are expected to have just 9 available players tonight versus the Heat. That'll be Paul George, Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, Terrence Mann, Ivica Zubac, Eric Bledsoe, Nick Batum, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Justice Winslow. Oh, you know what that means? Oh, we get the Justice Winslow revenge game. Oh, that means we are going to get shredded by Justice Winslow tonight. And it has been confirmed since Anthony Chang put out that tweet that Jimmy Butler is not going to go tonight due to a sprained ankle. So Jimmy will be unavailable this evening for that reason. And listen, to go back to what George Sedano was saying and to what Ethan Skolnick was saying on press row, It's 1,000% mental with Duncan Robinson. And, I know that Kyle Lowry made some remarks last night about Duncan, that, hey, he's not the only one slumping with the shot. I'm slumping as well. The difference is Kyle Lowry can affect the game in a positive way so many other ways than hitting three-pointers. If Duncan Robinson, he's a one-trick pony, I'm sorry. And you could tell me, Donno, his defense is getting better. He's rounding out his skill set. You're not paying Duncan Robinson $90 million to block shots, even though he's done that. He blocked Nikola Jokic's shot the other day. You're not paying this guy $90 million to defend. You're not paying him $90 million to handle the ball. You are paying Duncan freaking Robinson $90 million to hit three-point shots. And if he's not hitting those, Manny Chang, Duncan Robinson becomes as useless as Hawkeye to the Avengers. Most overrated superhero. The guy doesn't have any superpowers. He's got a bow and arrow. What happens if the enemy has a gun? What's he going to do then? Duncan Robinson, as useless as Hawkeye. He is as useless as Aquaman out of the water. That is what Duncan Robinson is when he's not hitting three-pointers. So, yeah, even if Kyle Lowry is slumping from three, Kyle Lowry can still affect the game and energize the team and distribute, defend, so many other things he can do. If Duncan Robinson is not hitting threes, he is a liability, and he is going to continue to kill this team. They cannot reach their full potential until that guy wakes up and gets over his yips and gets over these mental issues that he's having. $90 million we're paying this guy. Manny, you know what Duncan Robinson is these days? Apparently, he's a big-time podcaster now. Apparently, Duncan Robinson is a big-time. Dunk, you're a professional basketball player. How about you spend less time podcasting and more time in the gym putting up shots, and maybe instead of a late night podcasting session, why don't you see a sports psychologist? Okay, because I think the problem with Duncan Robinson right now is, it's definitely mental. It's definitely mental, but I think the specific issue is that he just got that big contract. Okay. And I know that some people will accuse athletes of playing like shit after they sign a new contract because they think, now that he's got his money, he doesn't care. That's what some people say. Now that he got the big-time guaranteed deal, he doesn't care anymore. With Duncan, I think it's the opposite. I think Duncan got the money, and now he's so nervous, and he's got this pressure on his shoulders that he's got to live up to that contract, and he's got to be, absolutely. Yes. So now he's got all that money. He's got to live up to that status. And I think the pressure is getting to him because when he was a minimum guy, it wasn't a whole lot of pressure. There's a ton of pressure now.
But by the way, Alex, I apologize. I'm still trying to have some.
You're trying to wake up, right?
Listen, when you actually watch your team in a different time zone and they end up playing an extra, 10, 15 minutes of ball and they lose, it does something to you. It does something to you the very next day. But is it mental that he's missing layups? Fine.
What else could it be? What else could it be? Because every professional basketball player, even if you're one of these 7'4" guys who can't shoot, everybody in the NBA can make layups. So this guy's not making layups. That's mental.
But the thing is, to me, even last night when the threes weren't going down, all the threes that he missed, the guy that was guarding him ran right down the court. Duncan was half a second late trying to see if his shot went in, forgot about his man, and what ends up happening? His man gets an and one. His man's wide open for a three. I mean, at some point, I want to say it's mental with the shooting, but basketball is a full game, man. Your mental issues of shooting can reflect you on defense, you layups, missing free throws in crucial situations. The Lakers wanted to give us that game, man. We couldn't even freaking do anything about it, man. Oh, by the way, our man Ethan is in. He's in LA. He's a little bit short on time. Let's make sure we bring him right in.
Okay, cool. And real quick, thank you so much, Big John Stud, for the super chat. And he might be right. If Manny Chang can lend those foam runners to Duncan Robinson, he might start hitting those shots. Ethan is on location.
Duncan Robinson will shame those for life. That's what happened.
Ethan is on location in the City of Angels, which it may be a bad thing because he brings that jinx with him. So Ethan, the topic du jour today is Duncan Robinson, and I did I read the tweet that you put out last night from Press Row, and Sedano put out something similar. That it's mental, and when he's missing free throws, and he's missing layups, and he's missing 3-point shots, I would have to agree. It seems mental with him.
Oh, yeah, no, it does. And George and I were discussing that last night. I mean, it looks like he's been in his head since the season started. And I think you start with perhaps it's the contract, perhaps it's the changing offense. They're not running the same offense really they were running last year. It's not as many dribble handoffs. He's not as much of a focus of it. Of course, we also talked about the way the defenses play him. So it's a lot of different factors. But I do think we see this happen with slumps. And this is why I asked Lowry about it after the game. I remember Kyle Lowry in the 2016 playoffs against the Heat was awful through 3 games. He couldn't make anything. And I remember being at a presser at the Raptors practice facility where Kyle took questions for 15 minutes about whether he'd lost his confidence. He ended up breaking out of it. But every shooter goes through this. Now, the problem for Duncan Robinson is that his shooting performances seem to be contributing to the Heat's losses this year, okay? Yeah. And also, he's not really giving you a whole lot else. He's gotten incrementally better. That's not really fair. He's gotten incrementally better in a few areas, okay? Cutting without the ball, rebounding, boxing out, defensively. But it's not enough to make up for how poorly he has shot because that's what he's there to do. So they're going to tell him to keep shooting. But they all gave the same quote last night. It was a little weird. All the players and Spoelstra, he's the first one in the gym. He's the last one to leave. He's the first one in the gym. It's almost like it felt a little rehearsed and coached to me, and not really, I don't know. I wouldn't say not supportive, but not really all that believable that they believe it. It felt to me like just something that they all decided they were going to say.
Yeah, I can totally see that. So Ethan, if this slump continues any longer, I mean, we're 11 games into the year, and I know Spoelstra, he hates to tinker with his rotation if somebody's not injured. How bad does this have to get before Duncan takes a seat?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. It has to get really bad. Like, it has to get bad beyond bad, okay? To the point where there's no way that he can leave him in there. But also, I think it has to do with the availability of others, okay? And I'm not just talking about Oladipo because that's still at least a couple of months out, but I'm talking about Strus. Yeah. I believe if Max Strus was available last night, he would have gotten some of those minutes that Duncan because we saw Spoelstra go to Strus instead of Robinson already once this year. I think he would do it again. Max doesn't seem to have a confidence problem in any regard. So I feel like if he was available, there might have been a chance. It doesn't mean a starting lineup change. I don't think he's going to do that. But I just think the way he's going to use the rotations, it has become apparent whether or not, Hero made those 2 shots at the end and one of them was ill-advised. Tyler's going to be on the floor at the end of games. He has to be, right? So you're talking about, okay, Bam and Jimmy and Lowry and Tyler. Well, it looks like the 5th is going to be PJ in most situations. Duncan's not even going to be playing down the stretch of most games, okay? And particularly not, I think, if Strus is available and also when Oladipo gets back.
So one thing we know for tonight, Jimmy Butler, after spraining the right ankle, he's not going to be available this evening. Any suspicion on how long he could be out?
I don't think it's going to be terribly long. I spoke to someone immediately after it happened and was told it was not really a bad roll of it. But also when I asked, is he going to play tomorrow, I didn't get an answer. So I feel like it's one of those things that maybe he plays before the end of the road trip and maybe he doesn't. But I don't think it's not like a 3 or 4 or 5 week injury. It's not that. It's unfortunate. It'll be really unfortunate if Tyler Hero's put in the starting lineup tonight, and that jeopardizes my 6th Man of the Year bet on BetUS using the code 5. I don't want to see that. But I do think with Jimmy out, I mean, they got to look at something different. It's almost crazy, but doesn't Akpala, you're going to go to I love UD, but you're going to UD over Akpala last night? Yeah. Where does that tell you that KZ is right now? I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of a rotation tweak tonight. Clippers don't look like they should be playing well, but they're playing well. This is a game I'm a little afraid that he can just get blown off the floor.
Yeah, and obviously we saw last night from the Lakers, we saw some Heat killers in action. Malik Monk, thank you so much for that one, Ethan. Avery Bradley,
that might
Wayne
be
Ellington.
My worst one ever. That might be, for those who don't know, that might be my worst jinx ever. I mean, literally. I was at the game. Nobody else was at last year, okay, because it was COVID. And I was at the game, and I tweeted that Malik Monk was the most disappointing prospect to come out of Kentucky in years because to that point, he was. Look at the guys who've come out of Kentucky in recent years. Yeah. And that's the game he went for 37. And then last night he went for 27. And there was a game in the middle that he went for 28. I have totally totally jinxed him. I thought it would be Kendrick Nunn. Instead, it was Malik Monk and, of course, Wayne Ellington and Avery Bradley last night.
Of course.
Wayne Ellington is okay because everybody loved Wayne here. And, we know what Wayne is and all the rest of this. But Avery Bradley, he stole money for the Heat last year. I mean, he beat them 2 straight seasons. That wasn't nice last night. But look, it was a bad loss. They win that game pretty simply. And Eric didn't shy away from it, though he didn't mention Duncan's name. He talked about the sequence. I pointed it out at the time. They were about to go up 9. Duncan finishes that layup on the break. He misses it. Malik Monk 3 on the other end. A couple of course, shots later, and the Heat were down, and they weren't getting it back other than Hero just put them on their back. And the one shot was in and out. So, I mean, as he said, he makes that 9 out of 10.
So the killer tonight, it's got to be it's got to be Justice Winslow, right? He's going to be the Heat killer tonight?
If he plays. Is Justice still with us? Is he? I don't know. I doubt it. Justice better. I just supposed to keep saying that. I used to have to. I still have some of those T-shirts, by the way. If anybody wants any, they're not. 5 Reasons doesn't even profit from them. They're Miami Heat Beat shirts, but they're in the trunk of my car. Yeah, tonight. Look, this is about Paul George, okay?
Yeah.
And you don't have Jimmy, so that complicates things. I wouldn't be surprised if PJ Tucker starts him early, but I think also Caleb Martin, even though he gives up some size to Paul George, is probably the guy that Spoelstra is going to deploy most of the time. What I don't want to see, because I'll feel terribly for him, is if Spoelstra decides to put Duncan Robinson on him for extended stretches while Duncan's missing threes on the other end and Paul George is going for 48. That is probably not a good place. But I'll be there tonight, and I'll have coverage for there tonight.
But before I let you run, what are the go-to eating spots for you? I've been to L.A. before. What does Ethan hit when you're over there?
Well, no, I know. I lived here 25 years ago, so it's
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like, but, and I always stay near L.A. Live or, sometimes Santa Monica. But, God, I didn't really have a spot out here, I would say. Jim Rodriguez gave me a list of 10.
Wow.
I think he gave me 1, but he should be giving me a list of 10. He's going to be giving me a list of 10 as soon as we finish this stream. We'll find some other. I like Koreatown actually. I'm a fan of Koreatown. That's I had some late night meals with our friend Joe Goodman after big 3 games. Actually, the highlight for me last night was Chris Bosh was there. So
I saw your photo. That was cool.
Yeah, I never took photos with the players when they were playing. But I have me with every other member of the big 3 group that they're sort of their top 8, except him, because people would, I have shots of me and LeBron, but I would never have taken a shot like this with LeBron. But people took pictures of the two of us together. I have some with Dwayne. I consider UD retired, so it's okay to have one with him. But I didn't have one with Chris. Like that was like the missing unicorn in the whole thing. And Sedano just happened to have his phone out, so that's it. We took a picture, but yeah,
I got one more quickie for you if you have another minute.
Yes.
I'm sure you were disappointed, but were you surprised that Nikola Jokic only got a 1-game suspension?
I said it would be 1.
Really?
He's the league MVP, and Morris has a reputation. I don't think it was going to be more than 1. I think if it was somebody other than one of the Morris twins, maybe it would have been 2. But no, I think that was it. That's. I don't know. I guess we're all not supposed to go to the arena on the 29th because the Jokic brothers are going to be there, right?
Well, if the Jokic brothers saw the show I did yesterday where I exposed, like the eldest brother, Strahinja Jokic, was charged 2 years ago with choking a woman. So, I mean, and I because not a lot of people are talking about that. So if they watch my episode, I'm going to have to be watching my back on the 29th. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, be careful with a Serbian mob, right? If that's what they are. We don't know. Allegedly, that's what everybody's making them out to be. No, it'll be in a fun atmosphere. I will say this. Let's see what the Heat's record is by then, because I got a little bit of a bad feeling about the rest of the games on this trip. So they got to get tonight. They should have gotten last night. They should have got last night, Alex. Yeah.
Well,
it is what it is.
Enjoy the food. Enjoy the game. Try not to jinx anybody too hard tonight.
No, I'm good. I'm on a rooftop. I'm at a rooftop bar in LA. I'm
awesome.
fine. So no matter what happens to Heat fans, I'm okay.
Well, that's good to know. No matter how miserable all of us are tonight, Ethan will be fine.
No humidity here. 0%. Not a cloud in the sky. 0% humidity. Enjoy your mugginess. I'll be back on Sunday.
I appreciate it. Awesome stuff there from Ethan J. Skolnick. And of course, you can hear him and see him on 5 on the Floor. So much of the other programming here on 5 Reasons Sports. And he is the boss man. He is the CEO of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I don't think that this applies here. David writes in, so Donno is mushing Duncan Robinson even more. can I mush somebody by talking smack about them? Like, if anything, me talking badly about Duncan Robinson, who has been an anchor to this Heat team. I mean, you think about how many games that they've already won this year in spite of him, and then their losses, you can very much put a lot of that blame on his shoulders when he's not making three-pointers and when he's missing layups, when he's missing free throws, which he's not supposed to do as an 87% career free throw shooter. I think if anything, my mush powers by talking badly about him, he's probably going to go out there tonight and go like 13 for 16 from three. Maybe that's the mush. Maybe it's a reverse mush this evening. Maybe that's what's going to happen tonight. Any mush is a mush, he says. I want to go through. We're going to be joined, by the way, in about 4 minutes by Barry Barger from BetUS.com. BetUS, by the way, where you can bet on this Heat game tonight. The Heat are, let me double check to see how the line may or may not have moved because of the Jimmy Butler factor with him being reported out tonight. That was obviously not surprising, but we weren't positive until about an hour ago, where it's reported that Jimmy will not go tonight due to the right ankle sprain. Okay, so yeah, the line is this. Miami Heat are 5-point underdogs tonight, +5. Los Angeles Clippers, -5. They're 5-point favorites. The over-under is 211.5. I got to tell you, I'm not as good with NBA over-unders as I am with NFL and college football. I think a lot of that over-under may just depend on whether or not Duncan Robinson and Kyle Lowry can hit 3-point shots here today. But yeah, if you want to bet on or against or over or under on Miami Heat Los Angeles Clippers tonight, BetUS.com. Make sure you're taking advantage of our sign-up bonus, 125% sign-up bonus with our code 5RSN125. Let me say hello to some of the folks in the comments before Barry Barger is going to join us in a few minutes. I did some of these names I love. There's a guy who watches us in comments, and his name is Nope. Definitely overpaid. Yeah, talking about Duncan, who just signed that $90 million extension this past summer. Our guy, Jeff Fox. Fox in the Box was in the comments. I love Jeff Fox. He's one of my favorites. Jermaine King, welcome in. Chris Adams, another one of our chronics. He's a big Dolphins fan. He writes in, can't wait for the Dolphins game tonight. I think Tua, I'm assuming two means Tua, probably an autocorrect or like a voice-to-text error. I think Tua is going to play, and I think we're going to win. Bet the points. What do you think, Donno? Just trying to buy on the dip like crypto. Chris, if I'm being honest here, I disagree with every sentence of this message. I don't think I agree with any part of this. Let me break it down sentence by sentence. You say, can't wait for the Dolphins game tonight. I'm a Dolphin fan. I'm dreading the game tonight, okay? I think Tua is going to play, he says. I don't think he's going to play. Tua is questionable. Game time decision tonight. It's going to be like last week where I think he's going to start going through warm-ups and then Flo is going to decide. Jacoby Brissett, according to Cameron Wolf, is prepared to start here tonight. I think it's going to take something pretty dramatic from Tua's swelling to go down tonight for him to play. So I don't think Tua's going to play. He says, I think we're going to win. Now, he did put an LOL on there, so maybe he doesn't even really believe that. I don't think the Dolphins are going to win. When we play against the Ravens, we tend to lose by double digits. We may lose by triple digits tonight. He says, bet the points. What do you think? I'm just trying to buy the dip like crypto. If you're looking to buy dips, buy crypto, not the Dolphins. Do not buy the Dolphins dip. Now, the Dolphins are hefty underdogs. So this could be one of the, 7.5, I think, and they are at home. So if this is one of those things where, and the Dolphins, they have suffered a number of close losses this year. It's not like they've all been blowouts, okay? They were right in, the game against the Atlanta Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts, the Las Vegas Raiders. But the better teams that they've faced this year, like the Bills and the Buccaneers and the Baltimore Ravens, are definitely one of the better teams in the NFL. It's not been close. So, but if you think the Dolphins at home night game are going to keep it somewhat close, you might just look at that and say, you know what? Oh, no. How many points did they get? I think it's 7.5. So you might look at it and say, getting 7.5 points tonight, I think they can keep it within 6. Maybe they'll lose by a field goal. then maybe you consider, betting the Dolphins in the plus, but I think I'm going to stay away from it. I think I'm going to stay away from it. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the Heat game tonight, unless Barry Barger can convince me that there's something worth playing here tonight. I don't know. And this is a good point here. Heat, Dolphins, Panthers on the same night. Panthers are in Pittsburgh tonight. What is this nightmare? It's the nightmare of professional sports league scheduling. For whatever reason. Oh, okay. I just got a message from Barry Barger. I got to send him a new copy of the link. I'm terrible at multitasking, so hold on. Barry's going to be joining us here in a moment. Barry Barger from BetUS.com. He joins us every week to break down point spreads, to break down everything happening in sports. I'm curious to see and hear if Barry has a strong take on the Dolphins-Ravens game tonight. And I think that this is kind of a hard one. It's got to be a hard one to handicap with Tua's status being uncertain this evening, right? Where, you'd love to, because you usually get the word on the warm-ups, whether he's going to go or not going to go, usually about 2 hours before kickoff. We're still almost 5 hours away from kickoff. So I would honestly, the way that I would approach it from a betting standpoint tonight, and I'll see if Barry agrees with me, is because you remember last Sunday when Tua was ultimately held out, they waited. Adam Schefter didn't have the report until 2 hours before kickoff. So I'd probably wait until around 6:20, 6:30 tonight before you figure out if you're going to put money on or against the Miami Dolphins this evening. Let me see. I hope so. Struce going to get loose tonight. Wave Duncan Robinson, someone said. I don't know if that's the best idea with all the guaranteed money that he's on the hook for. I don't know if that's going to be the best way to approach this evening. So, I know that our guy David was asking me on Twitter yesterday, and I'd meant to put up a Twitter poll, and I haven't gotten to it yet. So I'm going to ask you guys. I will poll you guys in the chat, okay? Now, the Heat game is later, so you can catch most of the Dolphins game, all of the Panthers game you can catch before the Heat even take the floor. But what's your biggest priority tonight? Is it Miami Dolphins football, Florida Panthers hockey? They go head-to-head. The Panthers have actually lost 2 straight games, so they need to snap out of it. Like, this is basically a must-win for the Dolphins on the road to the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight, for the Panthers, for the Florida Panthers on the road to the Pittsburgh Penguins. So you got Dolphins game tonight, Florida Panthers at Pittsburgh, and you've got Miami Heat at Los Angeles Clippers. What is the biggest priority tonight? I'm going to be doing actually post-game for the Dolphins game on 560, which I'm not going to get on the air till like 1 in the morning. So I'm going to be up to like 3 a.m. doing post-game. So that is going to be an interesting night. Oh, man. Dolphins need PJ Tucker, just to add a little bit of toughness. Can he block? Can he play offensive line? I think that's one of those things we're curious about. Oh, man. But, guys, we bring in now one of the great friends of this program from BetUS.com. BetUS, it's America's favorite sports book. It's Donno's favorite sports book. We've been winning money on BetUS.com. We've been winning money with Barry Barger's picks. And Barry joins us here.
Dang it.
Hey! Oh. I feel like we're on a little bit of a delay. Hello?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you
How
hear?
you doing, man?
Yay! Oh, great. I had to pull this off, man. It was like, wow. Yeah, one computer crashed. Anyway, how you guys doing?
We're doing well. I mean, aside from the fact that the Miami Heat have hit the skids here, and even the Florida Panthers have started losing games now, the Dolphins still suck. Some things never change, right? Some things change. Some things stay the same.
Jimmy Butler, I know he was hurt. How's he looking? Do they have a timetable on him? Is he back tonight?
He's not back tonight. That's all we know. We just talked to Ethan Skolnick, who's a Heat insider, and he doesn't think it's going to be a long timetable, but he has been ruled out tonight. So there's going to be no Jimmy tonight, which obviously I think is going to affect our outlook, Barry. And the line, I emailed you this morning some of the lines. It has changed since then. It's now LA Clippers -5, Heat +5, with an over-under of 211.5. So With no Jimmy Butler tonight, obviously no Kawhi, but the Clippers have still been doing all right. And the Heat, they've shit the bed a couple of times here. What are you thinking for Heat Clippers tonight?
Right. Well, the Clippers, after starting off pretty bad, they've learned to play without Kawhi. Paul George is putting it together. So they're looking good, but that's a lot of points to give to the Heat, who's still, they're still going to play some great D. I'm all over that plus. I mean, I don't think they're giving enough credit to the rest of the guys there. 5.5? 5.5 points? That's too many, right? You gotta take them.
You're talking me into it. Well, what about the over under at 211.5? Do you have a feeling if this is going to be super high scoring? Because so you think under? Okay.
I think yep. I do. I think under and take the points. I think that's a good little 2-team parlay, and bet US that'll get you good money back. Throw the dice, baby.
Yeah, I love it. And we've been winning money with Barry's picks. Thursday night football tonight. Now, the Miami Dolphins, they tend to get smashed when they face the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens come to town tonight. Ravens are giving 7.5 points, and the over-under is 46.5. Now, something that may – because, Barry, my personal advice here – is that maybe but maybe you think that this doesn't affect the number too much. So you tell me. But I know that we're not going to know probably until maybe 2 hours before kickoff whether or not Tua Tagovailoa is starting or Jacoby Brissett. So do you think maybe we should probably wait on this one? Don't lock anything in until a couple of hours before kickoff.
Yeah, probably. But here's what you can do. Like with a lot of these lines, when you see, so that it's up to 8.5 now. So I'm guessing they kind of know that Tua is not going to be playing now. That's kind of a little probability is what I'm saying by that line move. And so obviously Lamar Jackson. So last time he was here, I mean he grew up like about half hour 45 minutes from that stadium, in a poor neighborhood. So and he had a perfect passing game last time. It was in 2019, I think it was, when they, and they beat the Dolphins by 32 points at least the last 3 times. But, 8.5 is not really a matter as a point. When it goes to 9, that's, 7.5, 8.5, you don't have many 8-point win games. So, on this, as far as the total goes, so we got the total at 46. 46. 46. Yeah, I think you take over that total because Millar's been lighting it up. He's there's nobody since who was it? Randall Cunningham. Randall Cunningham was the last to finish in the top 10 in both passing and rushing yards. That was in 1990. And right now, Lamar Jackson is 9th in passing yards and he's 6th in rushing yards this year in the NFL. Can you believe that? So they're passing first, so that's what's scary with Lamar. So now he's passing, and Rashad Bateman's back and looks good. So and Andrews is having his best tight end year. This is, I like the total going over more just than anything because Miami's going to be able to score on them, and they've been feeding Gaskin the rock pretty well lately. So I think that. No matter who plays, I think they score. And I know that Baltimore is going to try to line it up. I mean, it's almost like they have precedence here. It's like, we got to score at least 50. So I would play the over, but that's a lot stronger than the side because Miami can cover that 8.5, and it might be going to 9.
What do you think about this prop that our partners at the Daily Stakes, they do simulations and analytics, and right. One of my friend Nick gave me this prop that he likes, Lamar Jackson over 63.5 rushing yards. That seems like an opportunity, right? Yeah,
because he's been – how many 100-yard games does he have this year? I mean, he has a lot. I think 5.
Yeah.
I like it too. How much is the over juiced? Like, is it minus 135 or is it minus
No,
120?
I think it was like minus 115 last I checked, something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. All over that. That's a great play for all the people. Yeah, Bet US when they go to like minus 1, like 40, 150, then you're starting to pay a little too much on those props. So you got to watch it. And sometimes what's going on the other side with the plus money. So be smart. I mean, if it's minus 110, minus 115, minus 120, you're still playing it. But once it gets up there, you want to double think on the juice because it can snag you. Believe me, I know.
I know as well. So a couple of other NFL games I want to look at for this Sunday. There seems to be quite a few games with big spreads, so I have a couple of the closer ones here. Cleveland Browns plus 2.5 at New England Patriots minus 2.5. Over/under was 45.5 last I checked. Could be one of the better games this weekend. What are you thinking there?
Yeah, it should be. And it's weird. Patriots, both their top running backs had concussions. So I'm not sure if they're going or not. Cleveland, they don't have any running backs. Now they're down to, Dernis Johnson, if he's available in your fantasy football league, go grab him. I did in both my leagues. And he will probably have a really big game. The thing I'm worried about is, so Belichick knows how to play them, and New England is minus 2.5. I have to take the plus on this game, just because Cleveland's they got rid of, so OBJ's gone, Odell Beckham Jr.'s gone, so it seems they lighten up a little bit. Play a little bit. Sometimes you get a load off, and the team's a little more, they're less stressed. They're communicating better. There's not that kind of person that you got to worry about a little bit. So, yeah, I think that. I don't think Bet US is going to go to 3 on this, so I would take the 2.5 and because I think it's going the other way. I think the points are going to change. So if you want to bet, New England, wait for it to go down to 1. But I would take the plus 2.5 right now.
I like it. One more game I wanted to hit with you. The Minnesota Vikings on the road at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers, 3-point favorites, minus 3. Over/under there is 53 points. That should be one of the better games in the 4 o'clock window Eastern time. What do you think on that one?
Yeah, this is going to be a really good game. So the Chargers, Justin Herbert had a couple off games, and he proved that he is elite by coming back last week. And, wow, playing great. So he's going to be able to put some points up in Minnesota. The thing is, Minnesota's strength, Dalvin Cook, he's a monster, and the Chargers are the worst rush defense. They're horrible. So Dalvin Cook should be, really getting off here. I think those points, it sounds like a lot. Was it 53? I think that's going over, and I think this is a really tight game. I think this goes down right to it. So with 3 points, I gotta take the Vikings. I'm still not giving up on them. They've lost, I think every game they lost has been by 7 or less, and they have a really strong offense on both rushing and passing. And Cousins had a couple little off games, but all he's got to do is hand it off to Cook in this game. So they're going to keep up. This is going to be a great game. It's going to be a high score. This is one of those, I think, shootouts, and I think you nailed it with this could be the best game of. This could even be better than Kansas City and Sunday night. There's so many good games. But
that's why I chose this game over the Kansas City game. And also, I feel like we talk about Kansas City every week. I kind of wanted to take a rest from those bums.
Bums? They're going to make the playoffs. The Chiefs will make the playoffs. I'm telling you. And there ain't no bumps, okay? There ain't no bumps.
Barry Barger, I always love his insight. He's been helping us win money all year at BetUS.com. Where can people find your work? Tell them about the locker room.
And so locker room also on social. So like NBA now, that's how we've got a social that's at BetUS_NBA. So that's, and then we have at BetUS pro football, pro FB. There's some directed towards everything. At BetUS_official, that's the main one. It's got everything. And the locker room's great. You get there, it's a one-stop shop. You get your information. It's entertainment. That's why we say it's where the game begins, because you come, you prep. We give you every tool you need. And then bet it live, too. Live betting is huge, man.
I love it.
Oh, it's awesome, isn't it? It's great. So where the game begins and where the game just keeps on rolling. So come on. Yeah, get your bonus and fire it in there, man. Right?
Yeah, man. 125%. You can't beat that. 125%, man. That's more than you deposit. You get more than that on top of your deposit.
They're giving it away over here.
Oh, Barry, class act as always, my friend. Enjoy the games tonight. Hopefully, for the sake of the casual viewer, hopefully it's not a blowout tonight on Thursday Night Football, and enjoy everything coming up this weekend.
You bet. I think I'm going to use Ravens as my survivor pick. I'm still in a big one, so something to think about for survivor people.
I wouldn't blame you. Awesome stuff there as always from Barry. We're going to bring in now our man who's going to help us get ready for Dolphins-Ravens tonight, Husan Patel. Husan, how you doing?
Good, man. I just got word that Odell Beckham Jr. is signing with the Rams.
Oh, I didn't see that. Obviously, I knew he wasn't coming to the Dolphins because nobody made a waiver claim, including Miami. Okay, let me – I'm not sure if we talked about this last week or not, so I do want your take. Should the Dolphins have been in on the Odell Beckham sweepstakes? Because I understand he's controversial. People call him a cancer, but I also understand.
No.
Yes, okay.
Because they need pass catchers. No, because they didn't have the money for it.
Oh, so you think financially that's the primary reason?
His contract was somewhere around $7.25 million, and the Dolphins didn't have enough for this year. I believe. So they would have needed to clear out the cap space. And well, who are they going to clear out?
Right. Well, maybe one of these loser receivers who can't get on the field, but that's just me. Now, what are you thinking for tonight? First of all, it looks like Tua is going to be a game time decision again, like he was last week. I find it hilarious that Brian Flores, and people know, just so you know, because sometimes when I talk about Tua, I get accused sometimes of being a Tua stan. I get accused other times of being a Tua hater. I'm in the middle. I call it like I see it, okay? So I don't think you have to be a Tua stan to say, even if you don't love Tua, he's still a much better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett, okay? And so I think it's so funny that Brian Flores is adamant about, well, we're only going to start Tua if he can make all the throws. Like, Jacoby Brissett at 100% can't make more than 10% of the throws. So it's like, well, what is this nonsense? Do you expect Tua to play tonight, Husan?
If Tua was playing, we would have already known. I don't expect him to play. I wouldn't expect the Dolphins to throw a curveball to everybody and Tua, considering that Jacoby Brissett was presumed the starter last week, and I'm under the assumption he was getting first-team reps this week. And it's a short week. You don't want to have – well, I'm not saying Tua wouldn't be prepared. I'm saying you wouldn't want your backup quarterback to not be physically prepared. And if they're saying he can't make all the throws with his finger, which looks like a messed-up hot dog, I would say it's better for Tua not to play.
Were you just looking for an excuse to flip me off? Is that what it was? Because I noticed you had
this isn't the middle finger.
Oh, that's the ring finger? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you're not going to get banned.
Okay. Oh, does that happen? Like, if I put up middle fingers on the stream, do we get taken down? I don't even know.
Yeah, the FCC will take us down.
The FCC doesn't govern YouTube. I think you're just talking crap. I think you're just talking out of your ass.
Where's the tinfoil hat?
Hold on, brother.
I'm telling you, man, every single time
the elites,
here, the tinfoil hat is here.
The elites are running the show here.
Exactly. If we flip the bird, the FCC will go ahead. They will ban us. Ethan will be mad.
I'm just wondering because I'm pretty sure I've flipped the bird on a stream before, and I curse like a sailor sometimes, as some of our guests do. So I don't know.
Kind of like the double Eli Manning bird flip.
Yeah, we'll see.
graduate.
Now, okay, now the FCC well, I don't even think they did step
Ethan,
in, but that
don't
was
be
on
mad at
TV.
me, but yeah.
Now you're gonna get us banned. You're gonna get us banned. Pretty soon,
Ricky. They can't silence us all. They can't silence us all.
well, you know what's going to happen? If you keep flipping these double birds, and if I keep cursing like a sailor, the only network we'll be able to be on is wherever Alex Jones posts his shows, because he's banned from YouTube. We'll be on banned.video pretty soon, where he posts his shows. He's going to have to welcome us onto his network. So, okay, you're leaning to Tua not playing. I agree, and your argument for that makes a lot of sense. So what do you expect to happen tonight? Dolphins hosting the Baltimore Ravens. A buddy of mine who's a big Dolphins fan thinks that this could be a classic letdown game for the Ravens. I think even if they do have a letdown game, they could still win by 2 touchdowns.
Wait, time out. Actually, on the OBJ front, he's still on the fence.
Oh, he is?
Schefter.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Schefter backtracked and just said he's expected to be an LA Ram.
Wow, so if Adam Schefter is backtracking, that's big time, because that guy rarely gets something wrong by the time he's ready to tweet it, because usually Schefter does not hit send on that tweet until he's beyond sure. Wow.
Exactly. Oof. It is a little bit weird, but back to the Dolphins-Ravens game, the news that nobody wants to hear about.
I'm sure some people do, and you'd be surprised, man. I see. I follow a lot of Dolphin fans who are surprisingly bullish. Like one of the first comments that I got on this show, I can't remember who it was, and I doubt I'm going to find it. But he was even saying he thinks the Dolphins win tonight. I think he has a drug problem. The person who said that. But what do you think?
It's either going to be a really, really good game or a really, really bad game, and I still don't expect the Miami Dolphins to win against a Baltimore team which has a high-flying offense. Their defense is not the same, and the Miami Dolphins just barely eked past the Houston Texans, who are one of the worst teams in the NFL. So this isn't an on-the-fence game with me, or nor should it be for anybody else, but it may have the indications of a trap game, but I do expect the Ravens to cover that 7.5 line. Harbaugh teams always cover the spread, regardless. And
True.
If they cover the spread by 7.5, I'd expect them to win by 10 plus points. I expect the Ravens to win by 10 plus points.
Okay, I like it. Well, Husan Patel, let the people know where they can find your work. 5 Reasons Sports. What is it? Dolphins AMC.com. Where do they find you?
We're doing AMC to the moon now?
AMC
to the moon? Yeah, it's a Dolphins ATB. I'll be having my preview podcast at a 6 p.m. It was supposed to happen after this show, but I have the Firestone guy coming to fix my tire. I was expecting him to call in the middle of the show. That would have been hilarious.
And I was gonna say I would have expected you to take that call, and I would have waited for you. Like I take no issue with that.
It's just common courtesy, Alex. It's common courtesy to wait for somebody who's on the phone. We're gonna have the Ravens ATB on there along with one of the Ravens broadcasters, Melissa Kim, good friend of mine as well. So she'll be on there as well. And then we'll see what the Miami Dolphins do. And then Heat game, baby. Let's hope they beat the Clips.
How late do you stay up on a normal night? Because this is like a one. Now, I have to stay up because I'm doing Dolphins post game until 2:30 in the morning. So I'm going to have the Heat game on. Normally, though, I'd be in bed by 11. Like, how late does
you're not going to see me on the extra yard tonight because I'm not. I'm going to go to bed.
It's good for you, man. I'm telling you, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise.
I'm an old soul like you, Alex. Just pretend I'm 35 with horrendous back pain and I take vitamin gummies.
I love how a 20-something-year-old thinks that horrendous back pain sets into the average 35-year-old.
Oh, I already have back pain.
Oh, you do?
Too bad. It's not too bad, but I feel it.
No, it's definitely going to get, because back pain doesn't usually get better. It usually gets worse. So you have that to look forward to. Well, enjoy the game. Have a good pregame. And we'll talk to you again next week.
See you, Alex.
Awesome stuff there from Husan Patel. Excellent. I don't know what are a lot of people hitting the dislike button today. I haven't even looked. Like, I haven't been on because from StreamYard I can't see it. I have to have like YouTube open in the background. You know what? The show we actually set my personal record, because people tend to not be too mean with the dislike button. I think it's just because like I smile a lot. I'm a friendly guy. But an episode we put out, I just pulled it up. I don't see any dislikes. So don't hit the dislike button. Hit the like button. Oh, he said YouTube is removing dislikes. Oh, I don't mind it. Like I much prefer likes, but I also want honesty. So I don't want to take the dislike option away. Like if somebody dislikes a show, like if you want to dislike Duncan Robinson, I think he's earned it with the way that he's played. And if you want to dislike Manny Chang's foam runner sneakers, I think he's earned it, spending $300 on some of the ugliest shoes. And these take the cake. What do we call those ones again, Manny? The those glorified Crocs. Oh, the foam runners. I called the other ones the foam. Hold on, you're muted. I can't. I'm reading your lips literally. Like you're like a Landon Roberts here. Can you unmute yourself?
The other ones are the 450 Cloud.
Oh, see, I've been referring to those as foam runners. So those are the 450 Cloud, and then the really ugly ones are the foam runners. I got it. Okay. And wow. So yeah, people are saying removing the dislike button, it's woke culture at its best. So are you saying that like you, and I totally believe this because people are so fucking sensitive. I see it happen on Twitter. Like, oh my God, you made nasty comments to my tweet. Oh, I can't get over it. I'm going to cry. I'm so depressed. Twitter is not real life. Okay. Like if you don't want to read nasty comments on Twitter, don't turn on Twitter, block people, mute people, whatever you gotta do. Like you should not be getting depressed over Twitter. It's not real life. So yeah, I can imagine YouTube is the same thing. YouTube is probably the same damn thing where these YouTubers who are like, showing off like what do people YouTube about? Freaking video games, travel. I follow some travel bloggers. Ricky J. Mark says this topic is it is triggering. It's triggering me. It's triggering me. So are you telling me that there are YouTubers out there who are so sensitive they get like 50 dislikes on a video? It's like, oh my God. I can't take it. Oh, these random people on the internet, they don't like my content. These random people that I've never met before and I will never meet in my life. I don't know if they're 16 years old. I don't know if this is their 15th burner account, but they hit the dislike button. They hate me. How am I going to function? How am I going to go on with my life? Oh, this is terrible. Bros, the show that I did 2 days ago, we set a personal record when I was slamming Nikola Jokic for being a bitch and for attacking another grown man from behind, not even waiting to do it face-to-face. We set a personal record on this show for dislikes. When I saw that dislike count, how did I react? Did I react, A, oh my God, these people I've never met, they hate me. The trolls, how do I go? I never want to YouTube again. They don't like me. Or B, I don't give a shit. B is the correct answer. Oh my God. George Albanese. Are you okay, baby boy? The man who's named after my favorite brand of gummy bears, Mr. Albanese. Yeah, I'll be fine. IMAX writes, you will still be able to dislike a video, but the public won't be able to see the count. Only the streamer? The public has to see it. This is ridiculous. Oh my God. All right, I've complained enough. And yeah, I am okay. I'll be fine. Like Ricky J. Mark says, I'm triggered. Certain things trigger me. Pineapple on pizza triggers me. People crying about dislikes on YouTube, that triggers me as well. I want to see the dislikes. I don't want them hidden. Yeah, only the streamer will be able to see the count. This is ridiculous. Please do not trigger us. Huge shout out to everybody in the chat. Georgie, IMAX, Crack-a-tit. Is that your name? Crack-a-tit 77. Hello. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? I think so. George Albanese, thank you. I think I already thanked you. You get a double thank you. Oh yeah, and like Manny writes, smash the like button or the dislike button. I don't care. I mean, I prefer the like button because I think that works the algorithm better. So smash the like button and subscribe to 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube. We love everybody. Big John Stud. Oh, we're getting the dislike because of no tinfoil hat. Hold on. We'll end the show with the tinfoil hat. Listen up. The globalists, the elites, Illuminati coming for us. You have to understand this world we live in. Big brother, woke mob, influencers, downfall of society here. Devin Jordan, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see who else. Jared Teal, thank you so much. Ricky J. Mark, I think I'm giving out a bunch of double thank yous. These are the people that I love the most, the people who get the double thank yous. Redhead Kane, thank you for tuning in. Steve, Eli, I covered every pronunciation there possible. Thank you. Poke J, thank you, or Poke KJ, thank you so much, whichever way. Jose Matos, thank you for tuning in. Natty Margan, is that your name, Margan? Duncan needs to be traded. Yeah, like a year ago, he needs to be traded. I'm back on that train now. Oliver Adam, thank you so much. And I appreciate all the comments on the title and the topic today. Duncan Robinson, who has become a liability. Duncan got the bag and was like, fuck it. I don't need to work on my game. Weak-ass defender, streaky shooter, one-trick pony. Bleep this guy. I said it before. I'll say it again. I think with Duncan getting the money, I don't think his problem was he stopped caring because he got the bag. I think he cares too much because he wants to live up to the $90 million. Like I think that it's too much in his head. I don't think he threw his hands up and says, I now have generational wealth. Nothing matters. I think he's like, I have to now live up to this money. I think that could be his problem. Jermaine King, thank you so much. Andrew, thank you. Ride O, thank you so much. Jason Martinez, Jay Ahern. I wonder if he's related to Blake Ahern, former Miami Heat player, who you may not remember. Kaz, thank you so much. PDB2K15, thank you. Let's see who else. Luis Ortega, thank you so much. Rai Yui, thank you. Daniel Scales, thank you so much for tuning in. Mr. Mrs., thank you. Shout out to the wife, Mr. Mrs. That's an interesting name. Albie, thank you so much for tuning in. There's a username with a bunch of question marks. Bad boy to life. Okay. Said Miller, thank you. Jose Q, lols, thank you. Ray Grullon, my guy who always says howdy. He said howdy to Ethan as well when Ethan came on. Jose Q, I think I shouted you out already. Let's see. Who else? Alex V, thank you. T. Rich, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Ricardo Molieri. Sounds like a paisan. Love it. William Bowers, thank you. I'm trying to shout out everybody today. I'm feeling extra generous today. Zachary B, thank you. Alan Sequeira, thank you. And I think that Big Dan 305. How can I forget Big Dan 305, who is heading up to Tallahassee to watch Miami at Florida State? We'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. We talked a lot about Miami, Florida State yesterday. So if you're not caught up on Donno Dailies this week, I interviewed Vishnu Parasuraman. We talked Canes on yesterday's show, and we got a new episode of Five Rings Canes out this week. Larry Bluestein and I, we preview the Florida State game from every angle, so you can get that wherever you download your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon, etc. Just search Five Ring Canes, and you will find that as well. So you guys make sure you're supporting our sponsors, the Quarterdeck Seafood Bar and Neighborhood Grill. Come for the food, stay for the fun. Locations all over Broward County, all over South Florida. So make sure you check them out. The food is delicious. The seafood is fresh. They've got every game on all the big screen, flat screen TVs. It is fantastic. And make sure you're placing your wagers. We got a busy one tonight. Panthers play, Heat play, Dolphins play on Thursday night. BetUS.com, America's favorite sports book. And if you use our code 5RSN125, you get a 125% sign-up bonus with your deposit. That's the best bonus in the industry. We've got your hookup. Make sure you take advantage of that. We will talk to you guys again tomorrow. I think tomorrow, by the way, just so you know, just FYI, I think we're going to start a little bit late tomorrow because I'm going to the Miami crypto experience tomorrow. Gonna show up there. Dead ass broke, and I will leave a billionaire from Miami Crypto Experience tomorrow downtown. But I don't think I'm going to get home in time to start the show at 3. We're going to start about 3:30 tomorrow. So plan accordingly, okay? And if anyone wants to go hang out at the Miami Crypto Experience, we can go there and get super rich together. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow around 3:30 p.m. right here on Donno Daily on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Ciao.